Yo, it's your girl Jay back at it again with the general tarot reading for this full moon in Cancer. Y'all, I'm so dialed into this reading. I'm so well rested. Your girl's taking care of herself, leaning into honoring my circadian rhythm. And I highly suggest you do the same. I've been cleaning all day. I feel good. Everything's in order. Everything's clean. Yes. Lean into that Cancerian motherly cleanliness is next to godliness kind of vibe, because it's coming in and it's here for a reason. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising. Everything is out on Patreon and YouTube now for Capricorn season. Patreon.com/justjeverything. For daily tarot readings, check out my TikTok and Instagram. Instagram is justj_everything. TikTok is at justjeverything. And for other dope shit that I do, customize herbal self-care, get you a spiritual bath, a body soak, things of that nature, body scrubs, lip scrubs, all the things. justjeverything.com. So I do feel like this is a really, really appropriate time to take care of yourself and pay attention to how you take care of yourself versus maybe how you should be taking care of yourself. So a very specific message snuck in here for this one, and it's interesting to me because I always like to see like what the almanac calls these moons and stuff like that, and there are a couple of different ones. So this is typically, and especially like in like witchy communities, this is called the cold moon because it's the first moon of the Gregorian calendar, Gregorian New Year, and it's in winter. And it's typically this moon is used to manifest ways to stay warm during the onset of winter. Capricorn season initiates winter, and so there is definitely something about survival, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're staying warm, how you're going to survive this particular brand of winter that you're experiencing in your life, in a very literal, as in snow and shit on the ground, and it's being crazy. Nature is just being, Mama Gaia is doing her fucking thing. And versus like the internal, very like ineffable kind of winter that you're having internally on your day-to-day life. This is also called the wolf moon, and of course obviously because like this time of year people were hearing wolves howl more often than usual, but you're hearing them howl because they're hungry, because there's scarcity, there's less food for them to be eating. So there is something about honoring the hunger, honoring your hunger. Winter can bring on scarcity and a fear of scarcity and a fear of lack, and it's an important time to prepare to take care of yourself, but also to really ask yourself, like, what are you hungry for? What are you starved of? Some of you are starved for attention that you're seeking externally, but it actually is an inside job. Some of you are hungry for these connections, but aren't able to turn off all the devices and really connect with yourself. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that to call anybody out, where I'm in this shit with you guys. I'm right here, and I definitely want to do my best to be more transparent and to show my heart as well, and my struggles as well. But I have like high key unsubscribed from the concept of struggle. And so I feel like that's something that could really benefit this Capricorn Cancer axis. Is yes, there's so much struggle that you've been through, but like making sure you don't identify with it. It doesn't, like, it's stuff that is sharpening you, that it's your experiences, but it's not who you are. And so there's some sort of way that I feel like in your words and your thoughts and your actions that you're able to unsubscribe from the fucking struggle. And that was not in my notes, so But I also feel like what's coming up are survival skills. And this is no coincidence that this full moon is coming up and it's happening in Cancer. Cancer in the Chariot. Oh, it's right here. Oh my gosh. Cancer. Sometimes this is just, okay. Cancer in the tarot is, one of the cards is the Chariot. And those of you who know, the Chariot is about receiving or acquiring victory over obstacles. But it's a fact that there are fucking obstacles. There are things that need to be, you're needing to get in motion. It's about harnessing. It's about triumph. But this card requires balance of the light and the dark. So we're experiencing and going into, with Aquarius season, you know, the darkest part of this planet's cycle. And so there is this understanding, this connection with the dark, with the shadow, with the lack, with the starvation, with the scarcity that you're feeling in whichever way. It's time to not run from it or necessarily try to do anything about it right now. It's a matter, well, yes, there is definitely action required, but it's like you can't know which way to like steer this if they're not online together, if they're not aligned, if this integration hasn't been done. And so you really taking the time to dive in and falling in love with your shadow, falling in love with your cycles, because there's a lot of seasonal depression going in right now. There's a lot of stuff going on with mental health. There's a lot of big shifts that are going to require a lot of reflection and awareness in the shadow, and you can't be afraid of your shadow anymore. It is too powerful of a resource, too powerful of an untapped resource within you for the divine to just let you just sleep on yourself like this. You know, and so it's just like there is this dark night of the soul period that I feel like we are coming out of and learning, but the coming out of it isn't just getting out of the uncomfortability. You can be outside of the uncomfortable circumstance and not have like integrated the lessons from it. You know, there's just like this getting out of a place of operating from in survival mode, or operating from a place of pain or wounded, or operating from a place of like feeling guarded. Because the thing about this, what I also started to like see in this card is that it's like the shadow, once you get your light and your dark online, meaning that you're not just blaming things externally, you have like full awareness of and are able to take accountability. You are really doing the work to become aware of your shadow, your ego, becoming aware of what triggers your fear, what's going on with your survival skills, your defense mechanisms, your coping mechanisms, your ability to be vulnerable, your ability to relate, your ability to reach out for help. All of those things, they're coming up so that they can eventually be transmuted into armor. Look at that. It's like he's got pieces of light armor and pieces of dark. And it becomes this, it's like you get to triumph and move forward in a place where you don't have to actively protect yourself, because your experiences now have shaped your discernment, have grown your discernment so much that it's become a part of it, like your spiritual armor. You don't have to just walk around guarding, like just fucking ready. You know what I mean? All right, so I have a few questions that I want to dive in and ask specifically, because it's important that we get this message now, because how we handle this winter, the physical and the internal winter that we're experiencing, and the seeds that we choose to plant, whatever we choose to nurture and cultivate now, is really going to definitely be tied to and correlated and bloom and come to life in summer, which is the opposite of this season, Cancer season, initiating summer. Cancer season 2022 is going to be a direct reflection of how you fucking handle Capricorn season and also this full moon. So I feel like it's really important to use whatever rituals or time that you do, whatever it is, it's important to really gear this towards the long term. Gear your intentions towards the long term. And not necessarily like balancing short-term pleasure versus like long-term pain, things of that nature. So, what survival skills do we need to work on? Go ahead and get comfortable, light it if you got it. Hydrate. So, empty your lungs and then take a deep breath when you're ready. We welcome in our benevolent ancestors and guides, and we ask for an opening and a widening to access our highest and greatest selves. Because it's just time, we're just leveling up. It's just time to like, no more fucking pussyfooting around. So what survival skills do we need to work on? I'm going to ask my specific questions and then dive into what messages when I just come through for the divine. Please show us. Okay, never mind. We're just going to get general messages first. Let's see. I'm like, you welcomed it in. Okay, so, all right. What messages want to come through for this full moon in Cancer for our greatest, highest good? Why are they always the Fool? And it was kind of sideways. So this is a brand new start. And I don't think that you realize that it's a brand new start. This is, interestingly enough, this is actually an Aquarius card. This card is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is getting ready to go direct on the 18th. That is definitely going to be impacting the collective. It's funny, it came out like kind of sideways, so it's because it's still direct right now. I mean, still retrograde right now. But a lot of people don't realize that this is actually an Aquarian card, but it's often associated with Aries because it is the first card of the major arcana. And so I do feel like there may be someone with Aries or Aquarius placements coming in or really impacting your lives. But what I asked are what survival skills we're needing to work on. And it's, look at him. Look at how knapsack, flower, puppy, beauty, the few little things that I need, the sun at my back, the simplicity of it all, the audacity to have, the audacity of the minimalism, the audacity to just like really, really figure out what the fuck do I actually need? What baggage, what emotions am I holding on to? What insecurities, what fears have I been holding on for far too long? What coping mechanisms, what escape mechanisms, escapism tactics, addictions, substances have I been leaning on for so long that have kept me in the shadows or kept me on the back burner? What have I been trying to fill these voids with? Whatever it was, you know now it's not working. So it's time to really wipe. It's like in that full moon in Gemini, our mental slate gets wiped clear. And here it feels like very much so in the physical. Like there is a new beginning there, and very much so in the emotional. There is in the spiritual. There is a new like slate getting cleared. Actively turning away from this confusion. Actively turning away from just dreaming about it. And that's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm about to read some of you real hard right now. Some of y'all have been just talking about, oh, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, girl, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm making this move. And all you're doing is talking about it. It will always be a fucking dream unless you actually act. Unless you actually get in motion. And when it's time to get in motion, you'll start to notice, because things get really confusing and you're like, oh, okay, I can't have all this heaviness on me. I can't shift, I can't operate, I can't move or make the decisions that I want to make. As I can't be as clear-headed or level-headed when I have all of this emotional baggage, all these tugs on my heart. And so, excuse me, I do feel like there is this need to, like, Cancer is processing, emotional processing. Everybody sleeps on Cancer and talks about how, oh, Cancer is so moody. It's just like, no, they are the fastest moving luminary in this in the sky. They process this whole cycle faster than you can even articulate it. It's just like a lot of people are emotionally out here playing checkers, and Cancer is out here been playing chess since they were kids. And so there is this, like, Cancerian awareness. I feel like you finally figure out how to drop weight, or how to, you know, start playing the fucking game with yourself, not in like a malicious or a manipulative kind of way. It's like you start playing the game that is life, that is this fucking matrix, and you start to really be able to, like, see, oh, okay, this is siphoning energy for me. This person, this project, this concept, this insecurity, this fear, this idea, all of these things are pulling away from the fact that I am needing to tend to some sort of deficiency. This is the cold moon. Needing to figure out how to survive the cold moon, how to survive the winter, the wolf moon. Howling at the moon because you're fucking hungry. What are you hungry for? Because the things that what are you hungry for? I can't with this. Okay, what are you hungry for? Because there's like this kind of parasitic, there's some of you, and it's weird that I just thought this, because some of you may have a tapeworm, or you're behaving or consuming like you have a tapeworm. There may be a spiritual kind of tapeworm sort of situation, or you're trying to fill yourself with things that aren't going to fill the void. So take a look at your actions. Take a look at the things that fill your mind, the things that what are you daydreaming about? Because I feel like some of you've been dreaming about it, visualizing it, and it's time to get into motion. It's time to start, like, this plan, all this talking. It's like it's time to start doing stuff. And I also feel like the real rub is, like, stop announcing your shit. Capricorn is public life, Cancer, private life. And the full moon is Cancer, and so there is going to be a release of things. And there's a release in stuff that you deem public versus private. And I feel like, especially when it comes to your accomplishments and moving forward, stop announcing what the fuck you're going to do and start living your life and just doing it. Yes, people support you, and yes, people care, and yes, you want to, but, like, you're getting the dopamine hit from all the support before you're actually doing the thing that is to be celebrated. And so it's like you're getting your flowers before you even earn them when you do all of that stuff. So just allow yourself to, it's like, move in silence and not receiving this, okay, and I just had this, ooh, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know that we was going to go here. But strength's on the bottom of the deck, so it's like let yourself receive this, and I don't want anybody to be offended, but I call the Cancer Capricorn axis the Captain Save-A-Ho axis, because the thing about, and the shadow behind that, it is a great thing to be of service and to be the one that's always prepared, and they got the supplies, they have the emotional supplies, they have the physical gear, they have the things, and that Cancer Capricorn folk can, like, give of themselves in ways that they can never be repaid. And the shadow behind that is they really get off on seeing people's lives improve because of them in some way. there is, when a Capricorn or a Cancer comes into your life, your shit will get better, and it will be like trackable. No, there will be data. You know what I mean? And so you'll be able to see like your life, they are able to at least see, and hopefully you're able to as well, to see that, you know, the abundance and the blessing that is having those people with those signs and those energies and those archetypes in your life. But that's what's coming up, is like that sense, that source of validation that can come from seeing how you benefit people, or how your energy or your wisdom or your knowledge or your skills or your gear or whatever it is that is going to come up. So the survival skills we're needing to work on, to maybe gear some intentions around, have to do with our ability to drop weight, our ability to travel, to move freely about the cabin, the ability to provide ourselves emotional clarity. But it's like, do you know how to drop the weight? Do you know how to get the heaviness outside of you? Do you know how to get it out of your body? Really like working on that so you can really stop. You know, you don't want to like bag lady it in this bitch. Bag a lady, you gon' hurt your back. Dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. One day he gon' say you crowding my space. Okay, let it be a word. Sometimes it comes through in music. All you must hold on to is you. So, pack light. Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh. Somebody go put on, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about right now. Go put on Erykah Badu's Bag Lady. Go pause the video right the fuck now. Pack light. I'm telling you, there's something about learning how to give yourself a new level of fulfillment, a new level of satisfaction. There are new types of things that are going to be satisfying you. And especially with the North Node moving into Taurus on the 18th, the day after this full moon, there is something about like craving quality, getting satiated, your standards raising, but that's a whole nother video. We're going to go into it. So my next question is how to get satiated, how to quench our thirst, that hunger. What are you hungry for? How do we get satiated? What steps do we need to take first to satiate ourselves? Nice. King of Swords. Interesting. Reaching for intellectual mastery. Things have to make sense. How do we get what we want? Sometimes it's like, it's the wolf moon. There may be a little savagery. There may be cuts that need to be made because it makes logical sense. Cancer is very much so a feeling intuitive sign, but I feel like how to get yourself satiated is to balance that intuition with logic and words that really enforce your boundaries or make your boundaries really, really fucking clear. There may be someone that is being mean to you or sharp with you, and you may need to get rid of this person or get away from this energy. There may be a need to really stand up for yourself at work, a need for you to really be honest with yourself about what you want to do for work. What ways do you want to make money? What can you do that doesn't feel like, so depleting? Anything else for how to get satiated? Yeah. How did I hold? Okay. The Devil, the Knight of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. This Nine of Pentacles keeps coming up. This independence, autonomy, and abundance, okay. With the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, all it's going to require is some alone time and you making some cuts. Really giving yourself time to meditate more, become more acquainted with your mind, get more acquainted with your thoughts. Give yourself, you like, self-awareness isn't just something like that people are just like born with. It's like, yes, most like, okay, like I'm an Aries, like I was born self-centered, but my self-awareness was like something I had to actively work for. Being self-aware and being self-centered are two very different things. And so I do feel like there is a need to like reach for more information or reach for tools that are going to help you become more masterful with your mind. Maybe that's in books, maybe it's in self-help books, maybe it's in divination or information, or going back to school, or talking to a therapist, or getting some maybe on medicine, or talking to a professional about next steps. But I do feel like there is something about using your power to lovingly be done with this old version of yourself, this old mindset, this old maybe betrayed, or this old victim. The version of you that has actually been victimized. The version of you that, has been bedeviled by something, dominated by someone. And like, it's time to really get honest about your access to your personal power. So my last question, ooh, nice. I'm saying make the cuts and like there'll be room. Make the cuts and there will be room for the abundance, for the love, for the healthy, loving shit that you want. And so this is, of course, going to be differently for all of us, but I just want to dive in. What's the root of this hunger? What's the root of this hunger that needs to be addressed? I know this is going to be a multifaceted, interesting Nine of Cups. The root of this hunger is that the divine wants you self-sufficient, wants you satiated. Nine of Cups. This is an end of an emotional cycle. It is time to really get yourself to a place where you're releasing all of this heaviness, all of this attachment versus connection, all of this effort and angst that you put into healing someone, fixing something, holding something together, making something better, really, keeping up with the Joneses, or looking alive or something like that. It's just like the effort that's gone into the, not facade, but just like, for some of you, yeah, the effort that's gone into just like maintaining, it's now really like the effort gets put into burying this version of yourself that's been hurt and wounded, and getting yourself to a point that where it starts to resonate with you, like, yeah, I did this shit my way. I got this. I'm good. And this being self-satisfaction, not guarded. Like we talked about with the Chariot card. It's like you're not needing to guard yourself. This is finally, you get to take all the armor off and you're just really proud. And so the root of this hunger is the divine wants you feeling this, wants you in a place where you have really done the emotional inventory. That old cycle is behind you and you're able to step into the Ten of Cups now. This really fixing and addressing the me wounds so that you can step into a healthy we. But like before you can do that, it's like you got to know your shit. You got to know what you like. You got to, like be aware of how you are as a lover, how you are as a parent, where you are in your healing journey. And so I know a lot of like random channeled messages came through, but is there any other messages that we need for this full moon in Cancer? Wow, that landed in. It's gonna be a doozy. Your values are changing. You're not who you used to be, fam. And if no one's telling you like they're proud of you, I'm fucking proud of you. And I love you. And I feel like there's a very maternal energy that's rising up in all of us, regardless of your genitalia. The moon coming out is Neptune. And Neptune is in Pisces. Jupiter is in Pisces. I feel like music is going to be really healing. Pay attention to the music that you're listening to. That's also been a message that's come out recently. Some of you are really trying to manifest very specific things, and the music that you're consistently listening to may be getting in the way. That's not for everybody. But for some of you, it's like you're trying to actively manifest a healthy relationship, and you're out here listening to, depressive ass, like Bright Eyes, like Love Me, or like, Amy Winehouse. You know what I mean? But like, don't fuck around. I love Amy Winehouse, but it's just like, pay attention to what you're listening to, what you're pumping into your subconscious. The messages from the divine are coming out about like it's time to pay attention to what's going on subconsciously behind the veil. Interesting, that wolf moon thing coming out, and this is the wolf and the dog. So really determining which side of yourself is going to go forward. Are you done, or is it time to lean into this more domesticated, long-term, structured, disciplined, obedient dog version of yourself? Or have you been there? Do you have the well-oiled machine going now? And is it time to be the feral wolf? It's time to really, or, how do you find a balance between both? It's time to acknowledge that you need to find a balance between both, especially if you are a mother. If you are a mother, you're needing alone time. And if you have not been taking alone time because you feel guilty for being away from your kid, all that you're inadvertently doing is teaching your child to self-sacrifice. Stop doing that. Take time for yourself. Put the oxygen mask on first so that, you can tend to everybody else after. Fill your cup so that your life isn't just like based on depletion. You're not always running on E. The best gift you can give to yourself, your husband, your wife, your children, your family, whatever, your roommate, your lovers, whatever, is a well-rested, healthy version of you. That is the best gift you can give to yourself and to the people that you love. You not all crabby and overworked, and it's time to like make the adjustments. It's time to like look at what needs to be done so that you can have a healthier, more present existence, not on autopilot. Because I do feel like a lot is coming to light. Anything else? Any other messages from the divine in regards to this full moon? Any advice that we need? I feel like, what we don't see is that there's a lot of success coming in. There's harmony that's being established, moving forward, progress forward. Really establishing harmony in the realm of our physical, spiritual, and sexual energy. There may be somebody with Cancer, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius placements coming in. Secrets or mysteries around them, like things coming to light, deep emotional realizations. But I do feel like there is this noticeable progress forward. Noticeable differences are made in the dark. Like winter, summer bodies are made in the winter. That kind of thing. Like allow yourself to do the shadow work while we're engulfed in shadow. Get comfortable here. You might as well. You're going to have to eventually at some point. So, there is this, or you can opt out and choose not to, and miss out on the victory and the integration. But you're going to have to face it at some point. You're going to have to face it. And the Knight of Cups says you get out of there alive, and you get out of there alive with lessons. You face your shadow, you face these toxic attachments. Maybe there's deep issues with your access to your personal power, feeling dominated, feeling trapped. Someone maybe with Capricorn, Pisces, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra placements possibly really impacting your mental health or your personal peace. I feel like you do the work, face your fears, face the shadows, look at the fact that this is probably a toxic attachment and it's no longer like a healthy connection anymore. And it's like you have the hard conversation and you make it out alive. You make it out alive with the awareness that, damn, there's this old version of me, that version that stayed long enough to have to deal with the devil. I need to go ahead and tend to that. So I can do here. So I can get here. 9 of Cups, self-satisfied. And when I'm in that self-satisfaction, the veil falls away. The mysteries, the secrets, the angst, the unknown. And there's this new layer that I get to dive deeper into without this version of this shadow. Because trust and believe, there's always another layer of shadow. We have that our whole existence is to look forward to. So, and just let's be specific. Just fuck it. What needs to be released? Because full moons are about release. So is there anything specific that we're needing to gear towards releasing? Eight of Swords reverse, Page of Wands reverse. Keeping somebody's secrets. Some of y'all are dealing with be in abusive relationships. Someone's maybe been physically or verbally abusive. Stop keeping people's secrets. You're needing to release the fear of keeping yourself hidden or being loyal or, be careful. That's a slippery fucking slope. Some of you, I feel like your children are being really aggressive, or your children are being disrespectful, or you're maybe keeping yourself blind, keeping yourself stuck to some behaviors that you don't like seeing in your children or in someone that you've started a new relationship with, or or even someone that you've been in a relationship with. It's just like what you're needing to release is this willful blindness. That Cancerian, I can fix them, I can heal them, I can do it, I can make it better, I got it, I'll just nurse them back to health, or my presence will... No, it won't. No, it won't. I love you, but no, it won't. If you're in some sort of situation, even if it's a job, and you're having to talk yourself out of the logic and the intuition that's coming up, stop. And if we let it go, what comes in? Since, we're fucking humans and we just need some, reward carroted in front. I knew this was going to come out. If we let it go, what comes in is the 3 of Swords. The ability, it goes from the 8 to the 3. It gets better. So the ability, but what this ultimately comes in is down to is the ability to get to the root of it. You finally stop ignoring your intuition. You finally stop ignoring that there is a new level with a child, or a new connection with a child, or a new connection with a relationship, a new connection with yourself, a new relationship you're needing to form with yourself. That can be uncomfortable, and that looks like acknowledging the root of it. That could, you know, where did these behaviors like form? And if you come out, yeah, and if you do it, you get out of defense mode. Acknowledging it, facing the darkness, facing the hurt, facing like that is maybe these people have been disrespectful, or you're just not happy anymore, or you're just not feeling it anymore. It can be as simple as that. It feels off. You know, like really giving yourself permission to honor that. What comes in? And I feel like it's great to have the Three of Swords come in, because that is like, hey, we can finally like stop operating from here. Operating from the like what we've known, yeah, and get out of defense mode and get away from the people who keep bringing in all of this opposition and the clarity that we've needed so that we can acquire this fucking emotional maturity that wants to come in. There may be somebody with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or an emotional support coming in, a new friend, a healthy partner, healthy relationship. It's just like, but also some of you, it's just like you, nice. Yeah, what comes in is like you honor, some of you, it's like you're thinking, it's interesting. I feel like some of you need to leave in order for somebody to really step up. And I feel like that's so fucking toxic. But you've got to leave because you know what like you need to do. And this person steps up, and this isn't for everybody. This is like the 1%. I feel like, so if you're in an abusive relationship, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about y'all. If you have been in some situation where someone has verbally or physically abused you, I'm not talking to you. I'm saying some of you, though, I feel like have been feeling underappreciated or not getting the attention or something that you're needing or you have needed, and you prioritizing yourself finally, it like gets someone's attention. And I feel like there is this really like healthy pairing that comes up. Like a new foundation that gets built. All right, final card, final message. This was longer than I expected, but final card, final message, final advice. Judgment with the star reversed. I love this. It's like, stop ignoring your healing. The divine's already told you the steps that you need to take to heal. It's just a matter of you allowing yourself to go through the hurt, the uncomfortable process of resurrection. There is like this really powerful version of yourself that wants to come back to life. It's like everybody wants the rebirth, but you got to experience the death first. And you're in the process of experiencing the death so that the fucking rebirth can happen. You can start to like rise back up. And that looks a lot like healing, and healing can be uncomfortable. But the divine's going to shake some shit up. You are uncomfortable. You are not stuck. You are uncomfortable so that you can figure out how to really gain new perspective and get yourself out of this uncomfortable situation. And that uncomfortable situation, that stuck feeling, is because there are some things that are going to end, that need to end, that are going to absolutely profoundly shift your life. And once the room is made, new things come in. The pace picks up. Like finally a zest, you getting back on fire for life. And that getting back on fire looks like you finally allowing yourself to pour into yourself. And when you fuck around and pour into yourself, everything changes. Because when you weren't pouring into yourself, you were laying foundations that were not structurally sound. So shit gets to crumble. so that you can break free, so that the door can close, so that you can establish a new sense of protection for yourself, and the divine can really allow things to start sinking and making sense in a completely different way than they ever have. I love you. This was a little bit more powerful than I expected. So, hey, I hope that that's how that manifests for you. Mercury's about to retrograde. I'm already stuttering. Anyway, I love you. You got this.